Hello Channel NITT viewers, I am DS, your psychologist, and welcome to another episode on Channel NITT. In this episode, we are going to continue to talk about compatibilities with the ENTJ, and we are featuring the ISFJ in this episode. According to statistics, the ISFJ is one of the most common MBTI types. Therefore, it is actually quite easy for an ENTJ to meet an ISFJ. So how will this pairing be like?
Maybe Amanda could be your bridesmaid.
No, she's too common.
Personally, I have met a few ISFJ. So if you remember season 1, we have Reporter Ken, and Reporter Ken is an ISFJ.
This is Reporter DS and I'm Reporter Ken.
So what do I as an ENTJ feel about ISFJs? My experience with ISFJs is generally positive, and I really enjoy being around with ISFJs. I find them very generous. So ISFJ are truly generous to their friends, to their family members, and to their lovers. I also like that ISFJs are very meticulous and careful. So ISFJs are very systematic because they are SI dominant. Communication with the ISFJ is usually very clear. When you text an ISFJ on WhatsApp, for example, they will reply with the original message and tell you this.
With clear ice cream menthol, with nutrient 10 and
This is something that the ENTJ may not really do because SI is their blind spot. But given that I chat with ISFJs quite often, I have also learned to reply WhatsApp messages using the same format. So this is also considered training for me.
It's definitely going to make me work to teach her to be reliable off-leash.
Well, an ENTJ seldom feels comfortable around a type that has both sensing and feeling function. But with the ISFJ, it is quite different because the ISFJ is a perceiver, and this means that they are not quick to judge the ENTJ. While most people find the ENTJ very outspoken and rude, the ISFJs is one of the very rare types that can appreciate us for who we are. They understand that we are being very enthusiastic, and they even tell us that our enthusiasm is infectious. So personally, I do really like the ISFJ as a MBTI type. But can the ISFJ and the ENTJ make a good couple? So one of the major problems with the ISFJ and the ENTJ pairing is with communication. The ISFJ is definitely a traditionalist. They follow tradition, they follow rules, but the ENTJ is inherently a rebel.
Take an ignorant girl to save the kingdom of France?
So the ENTJ likes to challenge the way people think, so this might be really uncomfortable for the ISFJ. As you can see, this is the ENTJ's cognitive stack and this is the ISFJ's cognitive stack. There is no overlap. So what this means is that we actually are very different. However, this is also an opportunity to learn from one another. The ENTJ will open the mind of the ISFJ. Booms!
Something, you know? Booms.
So in this regard, the ENTJ can really give the ISFJ many other perspectives. The ENTJ is also likely to challenge the ISFJ's way of thinking. On the other hand, the ISFJ is able to stabilize the ENTJ. Usually when I'm around an ISFJ, I feel very safe. Besides that, I am also very likely to feel very calm. Of course, this is on the pretext that the ISFJ is not stressed. When an ISFJ is stressed, they are very hard to deal with. Of course, a very stressed ENTJ is also not good to deal with. So we are going to consider only a healthy ISFJ and a healthy ENTJ pairing. Now, given that both the ISFJ and the ENTJ have something great to offer one another, are they able to find middle ground? It really takes a lot of maturity on both sides to be able to find a middle ground. They must both agree if they were to become a couple. Because the ENTJ sometimes just speaks their mind, they are very willing to just share their stories, whether it's a good story or an embarrassing story, it doesn't really matter for them. The ISFJ, on the other hand, may need some time to think, may need some time to digest. So there is a very vast difference in speed of processing information. Anyway, the ISFJ is a perceiver, so they are also slower to discuss. So in this regard, the ISFJ and the ENTJ may have some communication issues. It is very usual for the ISFJ to believe that the ENTJ is going too fast, thinking too fast, working too fast. The ENTJ is really sometimes too fast for the ISFJ, and the ISFJ can find that very stressful. They might even feel that the ENTJ is very bossy. Now this is understandable because the ISFJ leads by SI. They like to follow rules in a very systematic way. When things become slightly unpredictable, it can really make the ISFJ very stressed out. Since the ISFJ and the ENTJ are slightly or almost quite different, they are likely to also attract each other because the ENTJ is very willing to learn new things, and they can learn a lot from the ISFJ, who is so different and yet can be really successful. While the ISFJ is very likely to admire the ENTJ for his confidence and his ability to defend his position, the ENTJ can also admire the ISFJs in a lot of ways. I personally find that the ISFJ is very reliable. As an ENTJ, I find the ISFJ very reliable and dependable. And this is very important for an ENTJ. I also like that the ISFJ is very down to earth. So inherently, the ISFJ and the ENTJ can make a very good match. The only issue is that the ISFJ is rather resistant to novelty and change. And the ENTJ is always a driver of change. So if an ENTJ is interested in an ISFJ, he shall not try to push the ISFJ too much, but to let the ISFJ move at his or her own pace towards the ENTJ. So expect that things will go very slowly, but it will go very steadily. The good thing about the ISFJ and the ENTJ pairing is that they offer what each other wants in a relationship, and that is reliability, stability, and harmony. The ENTJ really doesn't like to quarrel all day with a partner, and the ISFJ also does not like that, so they are likely to be a very harmonious couple. But harmony may not always be a good thing, because sometimes there may be inherent conflict or some potential blind spots or landmines. If the ISFJ is willing to communicate with the ENTJ about this, then this pairing is going to work better, because the ENTJ is always willing to talk about things right from the start.
Shall we talk? Shall we talk?
Another common similarity between the ISFJ and the ENTJ is that both of them are very committed to complete tasks, although in their own ways. So they have something already aligned right from the start. So in this sense, if the ISFJ and the ENTJ have something common that they want to work towards, then they will make things happen, and it can be magical. One thing the ISFJ have to note about the ENTJ is that the ENTJ is totally not concerned with orderliness. This is because SI is their blind spot. Incidentally, SI is the dominant function for the ISFJ, so they can complement the ENTJ in that regard. And in return, the ENTJ can complement the ISFJ's TE, which is their blind spot. So this is a very curious pairing because they sort of complement each other in terms of their dominant function and their blind spots. The ENTJ is definitely able to offer ISFJ so many perspectives that sometimes at the beginning it can seem overwhelming. But a mature ISFJ is going to like it, because suddenly it seems as if their horizon is totally broadened. So in the long run, the ENTJ can make the ISFJ more confident, more motivated, and more goal-oriented. And in turn, the ISFJ can make the ENTJ feel more loved, more stable, and also more goal-directed. How wonderful. Nonetheless, I have painted a very rosy picture. Take note, communication is still one of the major problems between the ISFJ and the ENTJ pairing. But if the ISFJ is willing to talk things over and make it a point to talk with the ENTJ, then this road will be much smoother.
Nobody said it was easy.
Now, because the ISFJ and the ENTJ do not like conflict, their relationship is bound to be rather harmonious. But it is sometimes also seen by others as boring. But of course, if both parties are dedicated to maintain the relationship, of course this relationship is going to work. So my personal verdict of the ISFJ and the ENTJ pairing is that it may have some challenges, but if these challenges can be overcome by two mature individuals who want to be together, then this pairing can be really a potentially good pairing. So far we have already produced a lot of ENTJ compatibility episodes, so if your MBTI type has not come out yet, don't worry, it will be released quite soon. If you have not subscribed, do consider subscribing so that we can continue to bring you more ENTJness and psychology to you. Okay, I am going to sign off now, and I'll see you in my next episode. Goodbye. Goodbye.